Okay, how about now? Now let me know if you can hear me. Check in once, check in twice. Hello, hello, can you hear me? You got it? You got it? Are we here? Can you say yes if you can hear me? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, we're good to go. Sorry about that. Okay, here's what happened. Earlier, when I was telling, I remember the other day, or maybe it was yesterday, when I was telling you guys how to that I was having issues with Chrome about uploading things and it wouldn't working. So this morning I restarted my computer, and whenever I restart my computer, it turns off my interface, and I did not look down there and check it before I went live. So sorry. Let me back all the way back up. Welcome to Q&A Friday. You made it to the weekend, almost. And sorry for that little technical difficulty. Maybe I'll go back in and edit the video before it goes live. But anyway, or before it gets posted. So sorry about that. Welcome to Q&A Friday. Pop your questions into the chat. You know how it works. I don't want to have to go through all that again. Just drop those questions in the chat. It's been a couple of weeks since we did a Q&A Friday, since I was at the One Voice conference last weekend. So drop it in and let me know when you have those questions, and I'll answer those. Isn't technology wonderful? I'm going to go back to the chat, and we'll start at the top again, and then I'll jump over all the technical issues. Okay, now, hey, Jason from Kearney, Nebraska. Good to see you. And Bob says, is it Friday already? From Wadsworth, Ohio. And there's John from Denver, and Grady from Ithaca, New York. And there's Charlie from Sparta, Wisconsin. And hey, Jacksonville, checking in. Edward. And there's Nancy in Yankton, South Dakota. And there's Sean from Longview and Kathleen from Wyoming. Hey, Sally from Plano, Texas. And there's Don from South Africa. Have an awesome weekend, everyone. And you too. There's Kirk from Greenville, South Carolina. And now here's all the audio problems. Let me go, jump all the way down here. Kirk says, Mike, blink 3 times if you're in danger and need help. Okay, here we go. All right. And there's Stephen from Atlanta, and happy Friday from Dennis in Pasadena, California. Really, no questions? Are we doing a Q&A Friday with no questions? Really? Kirk says, today's lesson, technology isn't always your friend. You got that right. Also, another reason why I missed it is that my water bottle is like, I have it right here on a coaster, and part of it is covering that side of my interface, so I couldn't have a direct line to make sure that little red light was on. So, you know, it happens. Sally says, I've been trying to use Audacity but having issues. Any other free DAWs out there? Well, if you're a Mac user, there's GarageBand. It's free, but it's very, very limited. You know, if you're really dead set on using Audacity, there are tons and tons of how-to videos on YouTube about it. But I will tell you that for just a low $20 a month, you can get Adobe Audition, which is the gold standard for recording and editing in VoiceOver. It's obviously not the only DAW out there, but for the price, it's awesome. It's what I've used for years and years. But as far as Audacity goes, I mean, like I said, there's plenty of videos to watch. I don't know, maybe try to reach out to an engineer, or even, you know what? This is something that I do for Adobe Audition from time to time. There are tons of Facebook groups for all of the DAWs. So I'm sure there's an Audacity Facebook group, a bunch of them probably, And you can just post your question in there. And a lot of times, I know on Adobe Audition, there are actually people from Adobe who are in the group, so they can literally answer your questions right then. So maybe just join a group for Audacity. Andrew says, when submitting a demo via an email, do I attach it as an MP3, provide a link to it, provide a QR code, get a carrier pigeon, or what? Good question. Never, ever, under any circumstances, attach a demo to an email. Always just put a link, and the link should go to your website. If you're doing direct marketing where you're sending emails to people, you better have a website to send people to. Don't send them to a Dropbox link, or don't send them to something like that. Send them to your website where they can then watch your videos or listen to your samples and then download your sample if they need it. So never attach. Always put a link to your website, and that's it. And also, the most important thing, make sure that the demo that you are sending them to is a pro demo and not some DIY demo that you put together yourself. So make sure that you are sending out good quality stuff if you're doing your direct marketing. So there you go. Josh says, any tips to give me the edge on the narration of my first Audible? Take lots of breaks. That's has been my biggest piece of advice for anybody doing audiobooks. Take lots of breaks. Don't try to sit down and power through, because you'll start out strong, and when you go and play it back, you're going to see that energy dissipate. So take lots of breaks, get up, walk around, refresh, hit that reset button, then sit back down in the chair and get back into it. I can't tell you, how many people who have sent me, samples and stuff that they've recorded. You can literally hear the energy being sucked out of the reed as they went, more and more and more. So biggest advice, lots of breaks. Mary says, have you ever had a client claim your voice is AI? If so, how did you handle? Yes, that has happened to me a few times. I actually get a little offended when they do that, but I guess that's part of that's the good feedback, because if you sound like AI, that means you're not doing something right. Either that, or they are just being nitpicky. I always tell them in no uncertain terms that I am definitely not AI, and what was it about the recording that they thought was AI. And usually they'll give me a little bit more, feedback, or a little bit more, ideas about what caused them to think that, and then I can redo it or whatever. But yes, it has happened to me. Don't feel, insulted, even though it's hard not to, but it does happen. And I just say, okay, well, how would you like me to read this then? JJ says, got 4 jobs on Fiverr in one day. Only about $80 left to get to level 2. Nice. That John Drennan training probably paid off. So good on you. Glad you got some traction there. Josh says there is, I don't even know how to say that. OCEN audio, Oken audio is a free DAW. Never heard of that, and so I don't know even how to pronounce it, but OCEN AUDIO, Oken audio, Oken audio. Try that. She said, Sally says, I'm not dead set on Audacity. I'm considering Audition, but I want to diagnose my issue first. Yeah, try a group, or try looking on YouTube for a fix on that, or use GPT. Just tell them what you go to GPT and ask them, or tell it what the issue is, and it'll diagnose it. A performing artist says, I'm wondering, can access to buy the affiliate program independently you've done recently later as a Blueprint member when I have the funds to buy it. No, the TV affiliate program is a very hands-on, hand-holding program. So it's all live. The lessons and the demo recording and all that is all done live. So you can't really buy it after the fact. We will probably be doing another one at some point, but that is not one that you can buy and watch again, like a replay, unfortunately, because there is so much both one-to-one and group coaching in it. So I'm sorry, but you just have to wait till we do another one. But I'm sure you'll know when we do another one because I'll be letting you know. Joshua says, I started with Audacity and went to Adobe Audition. Final product is way better in my opinion. Oh yeah, it's not even close between Audacity and Audition. It's just not even in the same vicinity of the same ballpark. So, like I said, that $20 a month subscription is it's a steal as far as I'm concerned. Kino says, good morning from Rancho Cucamonga. Was Mr. DeWeese in attendance for the One Voice conference? No, Bill's not really, he's not really into the conferences. So he did not attend. Donovan says, yo, Mike, what's up on the top 3 things you learned from the One Voice conference? Well, I've got a bunch, and I've mentioned that. Somebody asked that the other day. Let me see if I can pull up my, see if I can find it. Somebody put me on the spot the other day. Here's a good one. Tom Deere, who was, he's a very successful voice talent out of New York City. He did a class, and one of the big takeaways that I got from his class is, if you're a voice talent, there are 3 things that you will need to, kind of be in order to be successful when you're going out and doing your marketing or whatever. And these are kind of your selling points. The first is, are you available? Are you affordable? And are you a pain in the ass? Right? So those are the 3 questions that in your client's mind or your potential client's mind, those are the questions that are going through their head. Is this person available when I need them? Are they going to be affordable when I need them? And are they going to be a pain in the butt? If you can answer, yes to the first 2 and no to the third, then you've got a chance, right? But those are the things that your customer is thinking about when they're deciding whether or not they should hire you. So that's a nice little nugget courtesy of Tom Deere. So let's see what else I can find on here. Sorry, you put me on the spot again. Here's another one. Who is this from? This is on the agent panel. I can't remember who said it, but I was just jotting down some numbers. Good is no longer good enough. So you have to be better than good, because anybody can really be good. We talked about being better than AI a few weeks ago. So, yeah. Another thing we talked about yesterday was the submit it and forget it. That's a good one. And this is something that I've always known, but I jotted it down. Voiceover is in the ear of the beholder. You could give the most technically perfect read on an audition, whatever, on a job even. And that person, the person who's, choosing the job or choosing the winner of that audition, it's still, if it doesn't fit their preconceived notion of what they want on that spot, very rarely will you get it. Even if your delivery was perfect, it was technically perfect, your sound quality was fantastic, you checked all the boxes, but if it doesn't meet their preconceived notion of the sound that they're looking for that project, it doesn't matter. Now, every now and then, you can deliver something and they may just be like, oh, I never thought about doing it that way, and pick you for it. But just because you deliver a perfect audition in your mind, and even in their mind, if it doesn't fit, you may not get it and probably won't. So keep that in mind. In the ear of the beholder. Okay, let's get back to some questions. Okay, let's see. Tracy from Rochester, Minnesota says, what is the program I can use to make my file smaller? Okay, I know what you were saying. RAW and MP3 are too big for upload. Okay, well, there's a few things you can do here. Number one, you can use some sort of a compression software. The one that I use is called Wondershare Uniconverter. Wondershare, if you want to jot this down, is the company name, Wondershare. Uniconverter 13 is the one that I'm using. I mainly use it for video compression because obviously video files are large and I wanted to, if I need to crunch them down for sending them away. That's what I use. But if you're having a hard time attaching files to an email, if a WAV file is too big and even an MP3 is too big, just use something called WeTransfer. It is a free software that you can use to send larger files via email. So go look it up, WeTransfer. Another thing that you can do is you can just use a free, cloud storage thing like, Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive or one of those, and then just upload it to that and then send the recipient a link to download it. So there's lots of ways around sending big files. The one that I mainly use, if I can't send the file straight via email, is I'll send it through WeTransfer. And then, of course, sometimes people prefer that you send them a Dropbox link or a Google Drive link or whatever. So lots of ways around that, but that's what I would do. Matt says, I'm playing with Audacity and found a high-pass filter that really helps my noise floor. Any idea if the low-cut switch on the back of my AT2035 is okay to use instead? I do have an AT2035, and I've had it for, almost a decade. My wife actually uses it for her podcasts and stuff. So I don't know. What I would just do is just try it. Just test it out, trial and error. That is what that low-cut switch is for, is to cut out that low frequency rumble, So see which one works best. Try the low-cut switch. Try the one in Audacity and see which one kind of gives you that better rumble or less rumble. Donovan says, Adobe Audition is the bomb diggity. You got that right. I second that emotion. Andrew says, any thoughts about the Twisted Wave DAW? The only thought that I have on that is I know plenty of people use it and love it. I've never used it personally. I've been an Adobe guy almost since day one. But no, I know plenty of people who swear by Twisted Wave. I just personally have never had any experience with it, but they probably have some sort of a free trial or something if you want to try it out and give it a shot. Sally says, thanks for the recommendations. My mentor and coach both use Audition too. I'll ChatGPT that's a mouthful. ChatGPT diagnose first, just to be sure my issue is fixed. Then I'll get Audition. Yeah, that's a good idea. I've diagnosed so much stuff using GPT. Stuff with my car, stuff just all over the place. How to get super glue out of a t-shirt, just all kinds of stuff. So use GPT for good, not evil. Josh says, in the past, I thought it sounded pretty good. Then I got a mastered sample from an audio engineer. Only then did I discover what I was missing, and now I have work. Yep. So many people, that's one of the biggest mistakes that people do in this business is they build their booth, they get performance training, they get their website done, all this stuff, and then they start sending off auditions, and they haven't done one of the most important things, which is make sure that your microphone and your space and everything has been signed off on by an engineer to make sure that you're dialed in right and sounding good, because that's one of the biggest misses that people get into is bad audio. Andrew says, what's your fave mic interface these days? Well, the one right here that I forgot to turn on a few minutes ago is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. I've had lots of different ones. This is the 3rd generation. I used an Apollo interface for some time. I used, I can't remember what that other one I first started with. It wasn't great. But I'm kind of a minimalist. One of the reasons why I got rid of the Apollo is it just was overkill for what I needed it for. I didn't need all the extra stuff. I'm very kind of, only get the stuff that I need. And I try to keep as much of my, how do I word this? I try to, remember our thing a few weeks ago where I talked about fixing it on the input? I try to make sure that all of this and this is good so I don't have to tweak it using technology, right? I want to make sure that less is more and I fix the problem, if there is one, organically before I start relying on plugins and stuff like that. I still use them, but I want to make sure that I do it organically first. Dennis says, would you recommend the Focusrite interface with Adobe Audition? Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do. Focusrite, I use Adobe Audition. I mean, really, that's it. It's a pretty simple effects or, recording chain. It's Sennheiser microphone into the Focusrite, into my computer, which is Adobe Audition, and done. Jason says, I cannot recommend Alex DeWeese enough. He's super affordable and produces a great sounding effects rack, which has saved me so much time. Great guy to work with, too. Yeah, Alex is great. He does our Tuesday night. Of course, he's Bill's son. He is a professional audio engineer, and he is a part of the VoiceOver Blueprint. He hosts our Tuesday night, our Tech Tuesday class on every Tuesday night, where you can join and ask questions about audio and tech and gear and equipment and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Alex rules. Josh says, I use Focusrite 2i2 with Adobe Audition, and it's great. If I have anything going on in the background, I use the Waves NS1. Yep, exactly right. I didn't need the 2i2 because I'm only one person, and I don't need a second plugin or a second input. So I don't need that. I'm not playing instruments or stuff like that. So a lot of people will use the second one for a guitar, or something like that. But it's just me, just one guy, so I just need the solo, and it worked great. And yes, I do NS1 every now and then if I do need a little bit of noise suppression. Okay, I've got to run. Speaking of Bill DeWeese earlier, I actually have a phone call with him in just a few minutes. We're going to work on some technical stuff regarding this YouTube channel. So I'm going to get to work, but I'd love for you all to have a great weekend. I'll see you back here on Monday. And hey, Kate from Marietta, Georgia, thank you for chiming in. It's good to see you. But I'm going to get to work here. So once again, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. And until then, break a lip. Laters.